return from France, I saw a great need to replenish my collection of falcons, for I had taken many birds to war, and alas, few had returned. My falconers were tasked with rearing and raising as many hawks as possible to make the birds of Warwick the envy of a king. One day, a young lad arrived at the castle. He was called Hobby, and he was the son of a local fisherman. Hobby was presented to me, and he told me that since he was a child, he had watched in awe as my falconers had reared and trained my birds. How he loved to see the birds of Warwick fly majestically over the castle, and how heartbroken he was when so many did not return from war.
I will go on a quest to bring to Warwick a collection of birds that will be the envy of a king.
I laughed that our wishes were the same. Although he had no training with birds, I was charmed by his passion and asked him, out of pity, what reward he would want for this. Gold? Silver?
I wish to stand as your master falconer and see the skies above the castle full of birds of prey.
I told him the skills and knowledge of a falconer are great and are passed down through the generations. Too much for the son of a fisherman. I wished him luck, but doubted I would see him again. Hobby thanked me and set forth on his quest. Hobby had grown up on the River Avon, and it was from his boat that he had often watched at night some very beautiful birds fly silently above the fields, hunting for prey. They were barn owls. Many of my countrymen believe barn owls bring good fortune, and Hobby wanted to bring these birds to the castle, as he believed they would bring him luck on his quest. Hobby thought they were wonderful birds. He knew they had marvelous eyesight. He had seen them swoop down and catch their prey, even on the darkest of nights. These birds of prey have lived close to man for hundreds of years. With their heart-shaped face, they gather sounds and can hear the slightest movement of their prey as they fly silently. So light, feathers soft, silent in flight, this bird's a delight. Those small creatures that hide in the long grass should take heed. Beware the silence. Beware the long legs. Beware the talons. sun ever charm a barn owl, but he did.
I know you owls will bring me luck. On my quest, I will need to see like you, to hear like you. Then I can bring the birds back to Warwick. Come, my friends, come.
Having won over the barn owls, his quest had truly started. Hobby left Warwick in search of more birds of prey. Crossing rivers and seas, discovering new lands. He saw a wondrous sight. Here in the northern lands, Hobby saw a most splendid sight. It was the largest bird in the land, a white-tailed sea eagle. Hobby had seen nothing like it before. He was so excited to see it in full flight, with its massive, long, broad wings. This was to be a test for Hobby. A test of courage to meet such a grand bird. This great hunter will feed on carrion, or they may steal food from other creatures. All are in danger. Fish, rabbits, even other birds should watch out for the sea eagle. Hobby marveled at the glorious sight of such a powerful bird. Hobby was honored to have met the sea eagle, and he felt great joy that this bird would soon grace the skies above Warwick. He reached a new land in the north and was pleased to find that the inhabitants, although strange in dress and manner, were friendly. Across the river, a strange figure appeared. They pointed at Hobby, then pointed to the sky. Then they summoned a bird. This huge, sturdy bird was a Steller's eagle. Those that cast their eyes on this magnificent bird are transfixed by its presence and power. Dramatic dark brown feathers, white wings, and a blazing yellow beak and talons. The Steller's eagle, one of the largest and one of the toughest eagles in the world. Living in harsh and desolate lands where only the toughest will survive, it must endure freezing, cruel winters, living off frozen fish, or when it sees the chance, stealing food from other birds. Hobby found this bird to be very formidable. to have met such a magnificent bird. Seeing this mighty eagle made him more determined to fulfill his quest, and for him to become the master falconer at Warwick Castle. It was time for Hobby to continue on his quest. He was determined to fulfill his promise to me and to himself. Hobby searched the skies of this new land, for he had heard of a large bird of prey that is rarely found in England. Then he saw the largest owl he had ever seen, an owl the size of an eagle. This dramatic little bird is a predator that will rule its land with an iron wing. Although naturally timid, they are a master at using stealth and silence to catch their prey. Lucky for Hobby, this eagle owl seemed friendly enough, especially when offered food. This nocturnal bird of prey will hide in the trees, almost invisible, until the time is right to strike, to silently swoop down, razor-sharp talons at the ready. Rabbits, roe deer, even eagles, all should beware the eagle owl.
Eagle Owl, I am in awe of your magnificence. To Warwick, fly true, fly safe.
Now Hobby was about to face his biggest challenge yet. For many years, I have invited nobles from all over this land to come to Warwick and to enjoy one of my great hunting parties. They bring their birds of prey to the castle, and we compete in sport and in the hunt. Hobby had always watched from afar, and there was always one bird that he found the most thrilling: the Peregrine falcon. No ordinary falcon. This is the falcon that royalty will bow down to. It is the falcon of princes. Peregrine, the wanderer, bird of the cliff and mountain, moor and craggy coastline. In the sky, there is no place for a hunter to hide. This bird must rely on speed. When she tucks in her wings, she shoots towards Earth to become the fastest bird in the world. Seeing this bird in flight and on the hunt takes Hobby's breath away. He longed to learn more, to be tested, and now in this land, that test would come. From a master falconer and the most royal of falcons, the Peregrine. Training for the bird begins once they leave the nest. Training for Hobby begins now. The falcon and falconer must work together as one, building a relationship that has been, throughout the ages, mysterious and strong. Hunting ducks, pigeons, catching them on the wing. They strike a target with a single deadly blow. Such speed can kill their prey on impact. A ruthless killer who is totally focused on the hunt. Hobby knew his loyal and Eurasian would soon be welcomed back to the castle. Hobby continued his quest. He learnt of a group of birds that lived in a far-off land that were known to some as the wolf pack of the skies. Unlike other birds of prey that hunted alone, these birds worked together to stalk, chase, trap, and kill their prey. It was not long before he met these wolves of the sky. They were the Harris hawks. Hobby found the Harris hawks to be clever and great fun. He understood why they were so popular in sport and hunting. Hobby learned that they lived and hunted as a family with a strict hierarchy, and he saw that the ruler of the family was a female. The young males will show up, working together to flush out hidden prey, sometimes diving from the air or running on the ground. The females will deliver the final blow to the prey. Then they feast. Ladies first, of course. Hobby admired their hooked beak that seemed longer than other hunting birds. Their dark brown plumage, the white bar along the tip of the tail feathers, and their long legs that had very tough skin so they could perch on sharp plants. These birds can be protective of their territory and will viciously defend their lands from other hawks. Hobby heard a very strange story, that if there is no room to perch on a tree, they will sit on top of each other up to 4 birds high. Looked forward to showing me this entertaining cast of Harris hawks. continued on his adventure. He journeyed south, where he had heard about a strange-looking bird with enormous wings. For many days he searched, until one day he saw an unbelievable sight. It was an Andean condor. Legend said this was the biggest flying bird in the world. On seeing this magnificent bird, Hobby knew this to be true. Hobby was amazed to learn that the Andean condor had a wingspan of over 10 feet. He saw that it did not flap its wings to fly, but used the air currents to keep it in the air. These giants of the air live in high mountains and open grasslands along coastlines. They are not natural hunters. They like to scavenge for food. Hobby was ready to bring this large bird home, somehow. On all his adventures, Hobby has found many wonderful and unique birds, but there was one he still wished to find. And as he was about to return to Warwick, his wish came true. This was the bald eagle. To Hobby, this bird conveyed power and freedom. A dominant and forceful bird that will face any kind of threat and never hold back. Fast, agile, brave, magnificent. Rarely flapping its wings in flight, but soaring, holding them flat, Hobby was transfixed. The bald eagle is an aggressive predator, a true hunter. It does not care how it gets its food. It will eat carrion, steal fish from other birds, or hunt for its own, often swooping down and grabbing the fish with its sharp talons. The bald eagle would rule the skies of Warwick. Having found the majestic bald eagle, Hobby returned to Warwick and stood before me. He told me of his adventures, of the birds he had found. He reminded me of the reward he had wished for, to be my master falconer and care for the birds of Warwick. I reminded him that he also wished to see the skies above the castle fall once more with birds of prey. Both Hobby and I were rewarded. Once again, the skies above Warwick were full of many magnificent birds of prey, a sight that would indeed be the envy of a king. Warwick had a new hero, and I had a new master falconer, who was destined to protect and care for these beautiful birds. Hobby had fulfilled the falconer's quest. As you look into the sky, let your imagination soar. We have one world, one sky, and one future. Together, we must respect and cherish these magnificent birds. We hope you have enjoyed the falconer's quest. Until we meet again, my friends. Until then, farewell.
Of course, the biggest round of applause should go to the birds who have performed so wonderfully for you today. Thank you so much. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if we could just ask you to stay where you are until you're asked to leave by a marshal, that's going to allow us to get you out as safely and as quickly as possible. But for now, thank you very much for joining us and enjoy the rest of your day.